Hey everybody! Welcome back to Northernlion Plays The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. We finished with the posted side of greed mode, at least absent the secret characters on the last episode, and I'm happy about that. We got a lot of dark room stuff to do, though. We have a lot of dark room stuff to do. Okay. Who is going? Azazel's an option, but we just had a fast run. I'd prefer to avoid that for now. I mean, Maggie has some garbage ones lined up. I hate to do it because we just played as Eve recently, and I think Samson just before that, but let's do a Samson run. Hard mode, dark room. We got this. We got this. We're making progress, dude. We've been ticking off the posted note, much like we tick off people when we miss tinted rocks. HZSNCSWK. It's a cursed run. You know the rules. No numbers in the seed. If you get a seed that's all letters, you know you're in for a tough one. The letters control the Zane. The numbers control good items. If you get a seed that's all numbers, show me. I've never seen it happen before. I don't even know if it's plausible. I think the answer is probably no, but... well, it might be possible. Trying to think, because I think they use numbers only to... no, that's stupid. I was gonna say they use numbers only to make letters unambiguous, like using a 0 for an O, but I don't believe that that's the case. Because what the heck is 7? Is it a T? Is it an L? Is it an SATURDAY? Night! It isn't Saturday night here, it's Sunday afternoon. Not that that has much relevancy, but I needed some air to fill while we were in that, room with the most annoying enemies on planet Earth, because they're not even difficult, they're just annoying. It's like fighting the Lost in XCOM. Apparently my XCOM game is bugged. I know you might be watching this and going, I don't watch XCOM, don't belabor the point. But okay. Basically in XCOM 2, War of the Chosen, there's a new faction, the zombies. I got this bug. Well, I got, first, the enemies completed a quote-unquote dark event that makes it possible to have these zombies show up on every mission. Then I got a bug that never purged that event from the queue, so apparently I'm just stuck with like 80 zombies per mission forever. It's like fighting a room full of cornflies. Everything dies in 2 hits. They're not that much of a threat, but every once in a while one squeaks through and makes you like lose all self-confidence in your ability to play video games. We shall see though. Okay. It was a long trip to get to this item room. And it cost us. It cost us big. Taurus is kind of bad right now, but it could be amazing in not too long. Yeah, I can live with this. This is actually extremely good. Dark Bum from our first deal with the devil. We still have a great chance of getting a deal with the devil on the next floor. Ooh. Don't get hit. Things are a little scary. There we go. Yeah, we might need our next red heart. There's not really much we can do on the shop. We can always shoot fires, but, well, in fact, I think I'm going to, but, the first red hearts, I think, belong to me. 4.5 damage with an 11 rate of fire. Definitely plausible to defeat the boss without, you know, too much hassle there. But it depends on the boss, because our speed is also quite low as well, so... honestly, Ragman is normally kind of a bad draw, and our speed is low enough that it's going to be hard to dodge the homing shots in a lot of situations, I think. But our damage is high enough that I think most of the time we're going to be taking out the spiders before he can really do much to us, and when we take out the spiders, you know, it does damage to him as well. I think we got a relatively okay draw. And the Halo is just, you know, the creme de la resistance. That's not how it works. The piece de resistance, the creme de la creme. A la mode, baguette au fromage, baguette, baguette au fromage. Like I said, I'm sort of French-Canadian, but like, in name alone. But that's enough, right? Many people are probably gonna say no, but I've seen you. Whenever the Olympics happen, I went to a school that was like the most monocultural school you could possibly imagine. And we lived in the middle of nowhere. Everybody was like from 4th generation Canadians. World Cup comes around, oh, all of a sudden, you know, ooh, I don't know if we want that. All of a sudden, you know, people are wearing jerseys for, like, the Dutch national team. And you're like, oh, hey, Nick, I didn't know you were Dutch. And he's like, oh, yeah, my great-great-great-grandfather, spent a weekend in Ghent once. Oh, isn't that in Belgium? Yeah, but, like, you know, close enough, right? The national pride always comes out when it's a sporting event internationally, especially if you have a tangential relationship to a country that's actually good. It's funny, I saw a lot of people, you know, they got a very thin familial thread to, like, you know, the Italian national soccer team. And I'm not insulting anybody that fits in this boat, by the way. Oh, geez, this is a problem. Like, if Canada went out in the Olympics on the hockey side of things, who would I cheer for? Probably, like, Sweden. I got no relationship to Sweden. They're just kind of, you know, Sedin twins play for the Canucks. That's my level of knowledge there. Or my level of international connection, I suppose. Let's give this a shot and see how it goes. This should also be completely fine. But you don't see a lot of people who are like, yeah, it's the World Cup, and I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm cheering for Cote d'Ivoire. Not that they're even a bad team. All of a sudden, I'm cheering for, you know, Albania. It's always the best team you got some connection to. Maybe I'm overly generalizing. I don't know. It's not like they can wear a Canadian jersey during the World Cup. We haven't qualified for a World Cup of soccer since the year 1986. Also, it's called football. I don't really want to buy a red heart, though. I was hoping to buy bombs. Oh, it was a better value, at least. We can always hold that close to us, but sadly, Jar of Flies would have been great as well. I mean, we just literally cannot afford it, but now if you could drop a red heart, I'd be fine with it. I don't know, we're kind of in a weird spot. Like, it's not bad. We got the Halo, our stats are good. Dark Bomb's fantastic. Our speed isn't even that bad considering we have Taurus. Fortunately or unfortunately, we're probably doing enough damage that Taurus will very rarely see the light of day unless our speed gets a lot higher. And plus, we're probably going to see it on this room because apparently I was just wrong about that, but get dusted. And there's, of course, our bomb. Basically, I go from like an 80 to a 98% chance of winning this run. Wow, that was so bad. In my head, if we get a red heart to drop so we can get a deal with the devil on this floor. Now, you might be saying that's not plausible now because you've already taken red heart damage. You're not wrong. I started that dialogue before I had taken damage on that room. As much as it pains me to say, bit of a whiff there. Where are the... Don't at me, okay? Because I just realized I am an actual moron. Why don't you just use the Lover's card and get the Spirit Hearts, you dummy? You're just holding on to it like it's going to appreciate in value. What do you think it is, a PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds crate? Here you go. Let's talk about judging other people. More talk about, like, performing well. I don't want to blow up our donation machine. Even if it might seem like the right idea. I don't want to blow up our donation machine. It is an institution. Until it gets to $9.99, it's innocent. Bad trip. That's not good. Tears up is lovely. Range up is lovely. The tower is garbage. Full health. Yeah, okay. Full health. That hurt me deep in my soul, but at least we got 2 Spirit Hearts out of it. Again, not necessarily knocking it out of the park on gameplay here, but due to the quality of our first items, it looks like we're probably going to be okay regardless. So, don't forget about bombs. Why didn't you just... Oh, I'm so, like... I'm out of touch in Isaac right now. Why didn't we just use one of our unlimited bombs to knock the red chest out instead of risking a Spirit Heart? The answer is because I forgot that I had it, which is not good. Oh, I was really banking on a speed upgrade there. Instead, we got a pretty sizable speed downgrade, so Taurus will continue to be a little dubious in its usefulness, but honestly, I think the fact that I've recognized relatively early that I'm playing badly will hopefully lead to me playing better. And that's not an excuse, it's a cry for help, but I think that hopefully we can turn it around here. We probably do want to go back for blank card. You know, garbage speed or not garbage speed. Yeah, just a little great bit of damage right there. Very productive use of our limited resources. Although we got a lot of red hearts on this floor. Excuse me, sir. Thank you. Well, we could always use the pony, please, to walk backwards to the shop. And that'll help us out in terms of giving us a little speed. But actually, now that I think about it, what's our speed with the pony? It's going to start at 1.2. I'll take it. It's so much worse than blank card. But it does give us a leg up on making Taurus pop. So I'm going to go with it. And you're going to say this is an idiotic decision. And you may well be correct in your assessment. It also gives us the money, or at least saves us the money, that we already had kept there. And I think if we can get like 2 speed upgrades and just get Taurus to pop constantly, this will be worth it. As of right now, it looks like a terrible decision, though, I'll admit. Hermit card. A blood bank is, of course, another important thing. And if we get an IV bag, we'll probably just end up rolling with that. As long as we can keep our red hearts up there, at least. But let's just give it a second to pop. Probably a Demon Judgment is the first priority here. Okay, there's our first speed upgrade. And a health upgrade along with it as well. That's really good. That's another speed upgrade. All of a sudden, this pony decision is actually sort of worked out. There's another speed upgrade. That one didn't count for some reason. Oh, does Taurus, like, cap your speed? Or maybe our speed got capped by experimental treatment being kind of bad for us? I don't know. Get out of there. It was worth it. Well worth it, actually. Sure, Hermit is like free boss rush. That's not a huge deal right now, though. Come on, dude. Come on. This is getting a little absurd. I'm actually just using the chariot because I want to get it off the ground. You got me. You got me. I knew he had me. He didn't have me. You never even had your car. So we did miss out on the boss trap room as a result, but very little to complain about there. I'm gonna complain about my brain being like wicked slow right now for whatever reason, but again, hopefully once we work the cobwebs out here, we can have a stronger run, because I'm pleased with where the run is standing. I'm not that pleased with the way that the damage has come in so far. It's been very, very sloppy play. In the same way, like, I don't mind a loss as long as we play well. I'm not that titillated by a win, even when just because we played like garbage. So I prefer to kind of get it all under control here. I'll go deep on this deal with the devil. I mean, we just got 2 HP from the floor, so start working on the Guppy Dream. Still got 3 HP left as is. The Pact is well worth taking in the worst of times. And I'll accept as well. Blank card would have been pretty interesting with Dice Shard. So take Telepathy for Dummies. Oh, we don't need the pony anymore. It's better than Telepathy for Dummies, so that'll lower our rate of fire, but I think we can afford to get a little more audacious with our plays here. Now that we're capped at 1.5 speed, we can pretty much go with whatever we want for a spacebar item. Sure, why not? So the glowing hourglass will eventually become the hourglass. What have we used glowing hourglass for in the past? To rewind time so you don't get hit by enemies and lose your deal with the devil chance. Probably not too likely to happen here. To possibly have a different item show up after a boss fight, although I'm thinking to myself right now, that's not how this works. The items are actually programmed by the seed, so I don't know. We'll figure it out. I do remember that after like 3 uses, it becomes the normal hourglass again, which is pretty silly. But that implies there must be some kind of, like, incredible power contained within it, right? I knew that at one point I had a handle on this item. Maybe we should have gotten Mom's perfume, because that would have maybe allowed us to benefit a little further from the torn photo, although I don't think so. It's the danger when you hit, like, the stat caps really quickly, as I think we have here. Because now I find myself, like, looking like a moron. And I should look like a moron for some of the plays that I made earlier. But I want to be rightly held as a moron for the moronic decisions I've made. Not wrongly held as a moron for not understanding the finer points of, you know, stat caps and the details therein. I do enough stupid things in this game that I can... Ooh, that's pretty good. Although the tears up might not affect us again. Oh, it does this time. Although your mileage may vary on that discourse. Is it a range downgrade? Might be. Either way, though, pretty solid. I mean, again, it's a run that, whether or not it deserves it, it's in a very, very strong position right now, and we should really try for everything. Unfortunately, everything in this case basically comes down to definitely make sure that you go to the dark room. And if you see Dad's key, take it. Apart from that, we don't really need anything else. Or we can't really benefit from anything else on the post-it note, at least. Wonder if you could use it... No, we're not going to get Dad's key on the chest, because we're not going to the chest. I was thinking if you could use it to reroll the items on the chest, but I'm assuming they're controlled by the seed as well, so... I don't know, maybe... maybe if Krampus gives us Krampus's head, we'll try to reroll it. I know myself too well. I am going to be holding on to this item with full charges until the end of time. Let's go back for a second. You know, this is where I'm going to let myself stand on the shoulders of giants. Glowing Hourglass, Isaac. Okay. Notes. Synergies. Upon usage, Isaac will be returned to the previous room, and everything that happened in the current room will be undone. Certain consumables do not get rescored. Health bombs, coins, keys, items, and trinkets will be restored. Donations to the donation machine are not reverted, and they can be reset into working state once jammed. Okay, that seems interesting. "48-hour energy pill allows for infinite usage, as the pill gets refunded upon use. Sharp plug allows for infinite usage as long as you have more than 2 hearts. Curse of the Tower. If used quickly after taking damage, troll bombs will spawn in the previous room. If you have safety scissors, these will be harnessed as normal." Dude, I don't know. I feel like I'm in over my head here. How about this? With Curse of the Blind, Glowing Hourglass can be used to pick up or purchase an unknown item to see what it is, then decide whether or not to undo picking it up. That's more my speed. You know, you guys are giving me these PhD lessons in the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus, and I'm choosing to willfully remain ignorant and then turn it back on you as if somehow it's your fault. But to be honest with you, who needs to harvest infinite bombs? One in, like, 1,500 runs when this synergy is possible, it might happen. Dude, here's our chance. Odd Mushroom. It's actually a good idea not to take it. Because it just lowers our damage because our rate of fire is already at the cap. Dude, look at that. We actually used it effectively. Thanks, Binding of Isaac Wiki. I never would have expected that immediately after learning what it does, we would be able to put it to the test. It's like, it's too much of an engineered environment. I'm very happy. Okay, so it's extremely important, by the way. Don't get distracted. Something, you know, The Undertaker, Mankind, etc., etc. But no. Most important thing, take the negative when you beat Mom. Which is the item on the right. You don't need to overthink it. Oh, I hate this room. If you give me Shoot the Whoop, I'll take it. Because we just, as far as I'm concerned, I just made my best Glowing Hourglass play ever. Thank you. You're a gentleman and or a scholar. Let us go. We got the time, honestly. I would take IV bag. I think we can make good use of it. Pretty good. If nothing else, at least we're getting more damage for this floor. Which, if we end up doing boss rush, is a big help. Because we've already done Hush. Yes. We can also do Delirium, I guess. I acted as if... Nice. Also pretty good. But I acted as if only Mega Satan was a possible outcome for us. But we have never done Delirium on this character, Samson. So we're able to get the portal, which is largely luck. Although we could will it into existence by going to the Hush fight. But I don't want to do that. I want to defeat... I want to defeat the Lamb so I can get the Post-it note filled in and then go down to the Delirium floor, but I digress. How in the world are you not dead? Tankiest bosses in the game would be dead from a treatment like that. At this point, by the way, we got 14 damage, 4 rate of fire, shoop de whoop. It's a pretty ideal time to try to, wow. It's a pretty ideal time to try to go to greed mode in my... Not greed mode. Brain, what is you doing? It's an ideal time to go to boss rush, I think. Even if we don't know what any of the items are. So I'm actually going to Yera this right here. Got a 2 of clubs. Basically, we got a 2 of clubs. Not particularly strong. Take the item on the right. Go to boss rush. Take the item in the top left. Linger beam. This was not worth the time investment, but life goes on. Who knows? The item at the end of this could be worth the time investment. Sure, we could have used glowing hourglass to avoid this, but Shoop de Whoop is gonna, like, stomp on so many of these enemies that... You know what? It's going fast enough that Linger Beam may well have been worth the time investment. I may have been incorrect in my assessment. Even if it's not a particularly strong item. Turns out 14.8 damage times 2 times the number of ticks in the duration of Shoop de Whoop is a relatively good motivator for bosses to get the heck out of the way of this astral plane before they go insane. More enemies that spawn in at the same time and then stand still, please. Turns out that's a pretty easy strat for us to take advantage of. We haven't had a huge stomp like this on boss rush in a while. Like, you need a... There's only a few items in the game that really, really allow you to poop on enemies during boss rush. Shoop de Whoop is definitely one of them. I mean, Shoop de Whoop actually just obliterated the Fallen before it even entered its second stage. Which, to be honest with you, I actually didn't know was possible, even though I've probably seen it like 20 times. I don't feel too bad about getting rid of blank card. But we could have had 99 bombs. What if I give you 99 of these? It's me holding up my middle finger. I'm just joking. I would never do that. I'm a respectful boy. I'd wait till you had your back turned, and then I'd do the suck it gesture from the Generation X. Well, Taurus, it's doing business for us. I'm never sad to pick up Taurus. Well, that's not true. There have been a couple of times it's cost me my run. But I do it knowingly. You know, there was a period probably like 2 years ago, even, where I didn't even realize that Taurus was a speed downgrade. Now I'm well aware of the consequences. I just usually choose to try to absorb them instead of just abstaining. I like the invincibility from Taurus, and if we can get to 2 speed, which, again, I don't really understand why we can't. I don't understand why we're capped, I guess. I'd be a little happier, but let's keep taking those. Tears up. Like, instant invincibility is really good. Although, you know, as soon as I got instant invincibility, I'd probably be like, my tears do more damage. Our actual damage is not that good. On any floor where we're able to find a a blood bank, we can get to a very dominating strategy. You know, we can get to 14 damage plus. If we can't find a blood bank and we're not in the business of taking unreasonable amounts of damage, it's a little bit more of a stretch, you know. I think we've been hit once here, so we probably have 5 damage. It's well over base damage, but not that good for the womb. It's our rate of fire that's carrying us, to be honest with you. And then, you know, lump of coal probably doesn't hurt. Cricket's body doesn't hurt. And, Dark Bum giving us 5 Spirit Arts per floor doesn't hurt either. Help me. Help me. There we go. Chariots. Perfect for a blood bank. And there's a chance we could get one on the next floor. I might just use it on the boss, though. We got a good deal with the devil chance. 2 items away from becoming Guppy. Already fought Krampus. It's like the golden zone for us to get a quick deal with the devil and then just steamroll. My knockback actually knocked that enemy into me. It's like some Mr. Bean level nonsense. Okay, Teratoma. Get absolutely dusted. We'll save Chariot. We got our own built-in Chariot if we need it. No deal? You insult me, sir. At least we have 100% on the next floor, but it hurts. It's hard not to be offended. It's in my head, 67% might as well be 100.
It explains my GPA.
You know, in Canada, 67% is an A. Now I'm becoming like a self-caricature. 67% is not an A in Canada. But we also don't, and I've been over this 100 times, we don't use the GPA system that much. We tend to use, thought we could make it, we tend to use numerical averages because I don't understand. America's always got to complicate things. No, we can't have the metric system. We got to have our own system. Oh, what's your GPA? I don't know what a GPA is. You know, we just use the numbers that we get out of 100. You use the numbers? Why don't you convert the numbers to an arbitrary series of letters and then convert the letters back into an arbitrary ratio of numbers? It's just too much. I don't understand it. It can't be that simple. It's like we got someone on the inside trying to, you know, be a job creator. Someone's got to work at the GPA calculator. Oh, what's your GPA?
I've got a 3.9991345 because although I got a B- in freshman year gym, I did take an IB quantum physics class, so hopefully Harvard doesn't hold it against me.
I don't get it, okay? It could be so much simpler. I'm getting on my soapbox again. I don't even understand what I'm talking about. I just get cheesed because I'm like in Canada. At least in... Yeah, why not? Let's make it exciting, right? In the province where I grew up, at least, an A, you pass at 50, and an A is 80 to 99. An A plus at 96 or whatever, but, and then everyone goes, wow, you went to like a bad school. How do you know? It's like the #1 most presumptuous thing I've ever heard in my life. You think we got bad doctors because they pass at 50? I'll tell you one thing, if we got bad doctors, you got terrible doctors because all our doctors go over there because they can make more money. You're inheriting our bad doctors, so don't sound so smug about it. The thing is, you're competing against people not who have A's. Come on! You're competing against people who have, you know, 86s or 91s. It's not a GPA-based system, I think. Oh, almost went down to the wrong floor. But I've been over this so many times I don't care to talk about it again, even though I willfully chose to. Nothing there. So we're mildly diced up right now. We don't need that anymore because we're out of red hearts, but we're mildly spiced up, I should say. This run shouldn't be too hard. And keep in mind, you know, Child's Heart, Dark Bum, good combination. The first floor teleportation to the deal with the devil is paying dividends for us wrapping around here. I guess I wouldn't help myself though. If I was a young whippersnapper still to this day, and I was talking to someone that was from, like, you know, Finland, and they were like, in Finland, a 40% is a pass, I'd be like, you guys must be stupid up there. In my head. Outwardly, I'd be like, that's an inferior system, because I've grown up in this one my whole life and I'm used to it. It's not like, you know, if someone gets a 50% in 9th grade, you know, geography, we go, oh, that guy's a smart guy. You still go, that guy got a 50, that's not a good mark. They just happen to get course credit. I have taken some college classes that I find hilarious. If you want to make fun of something about the Canadian education system, and I think there's something to be made fun of probably in every country's education system. Oh no, that's gonna hurt. But the thing that's funny is that, so I'm in, like, I don't know if you know this, but take some classes in the computer science field. The classes, some of them have a 50% passing grade, but if you don't get a 60 or higher, you can't take the next course in the track. So, conceivably, you could pass a class, but not have passed it well enough that the dean could just be like, well, you get the credit, but you also have to transfer to some other program. Which I think is hilarious. Now, I don't dispute the idea that, you know, if you don't understand Computer Science 101 at a 60% or greater level, you're probably going to struggle in Computer Science, you know, 463. However, I do feel for the people who find themselves in that awkward, you know, 50 to 59 range. Gotta retake the course. Especially because, like, this is not to say, a lot of the people watching this, don't stand there. A lot of the people watching this are younger than myself. And, you know, if you're going through college or you're going through university for the first time, you know, you're like 18 to 22. I'm not saying you got nothing going on in your life that could possibly take interest over school, but I'm in night classes now, and sometimes I'll talk to, like, my lab partner and be like, he'll be like, oh, hey, I didn't do so well on the lab. And I'll be like, oh, what happened? And he's like, oh, you know, my kid is sick. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's a great excuse. I feel for the people that get burned like that, but, you know, it's also, what are you gonna do? You do have to test people. Give me Dad's key somehow. When I was in college. Oh, why didn't you do well on the assignment? Psh, didn't feel like it. Went and saw a movie instead. I can relate to that. I've been there. Why didn't you come to class yesterday? It was early. I've been that guy. I'm not looking down on you. That's why my number one advice to you whenever, you know, every August, September, I start being preachy about school, which apparently, you know, is happening literally right now. I bring up the fact sometimes people, you know, tweet me or even send me an email and go like, NL, I'm starting college in September. What advice would you give me? Number one piece of advice, go to class. You or someone you love is paying for it. Even if you got a full scholarship. What, you don't love the government? They're paying for your college. You better love them. It might not be the government paying. It might be the Ayn Rand Foundation, for all I know. Anyway, the point is, go to class. You're paying for it. But, you know, have fun as well. Find yourself. Cultivate a good sleep schedule so you don't end up being a YouTuber. I'm not sure if that's a threat or a benefit, but... Well, let's do a SWOT analysis to figure out. Yeah, I've taken Intro to Marketing. What of it? I'm pretty much a financial genius. Check it out. I took Econ 101, the first year introductory economics class, by correspondence. That's right, I got my online credit in first year economics. You ever hear of a little thing called supply and demand? Me too. Bit of a sloppy run here, I gotta admit. Let's finish this bad boy off. I actually, at this point, that's gonna hurt. I kinda hope we're not gonna get delirium because I don't trust ourselves to make it through it. That was just a terrible misplay right there. Maybe we should just bank the fact that we're likely about to win. Not do a victory lap yet. No delirium access. Do you only get delirium after the chest? I don't know. Anyway, we unlock blood rights and Samson's lock. Both useful items. Blood rights, I don't respect as much as I probably should. Samson's Lock, kind of in the same boat, but one more thing ticked off the post-it note. For now, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. But for now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.